Okay, so in this step, we create a new layer and name it skirt. And we're going to create the skirt here. So I'll activate pen and choose a color for it. And you can select from here or here. There's no difference. And I will start drawing. And then I lock these in place. Here. And you can see here that I won't zoom in too much. And the reason for that is this circle, I want to create the overall, and I don't want to add details because it doesn't have much detail anyway. Here and like this. Okay. And now I will select direct selection tool and start working with it. For example, these corners a little bit. And this part here. And here to here, this path. And this path. Okay, like this. And what I do is I'll bring them in the bottom layer. Or bring it to, I go to skin layer. Here, this part here. And in this part, this here, and here, zoom in here. And like this, and here, I also like this. And here would look better. And here too. Okay. And for this part, I'll do in this skin layer for now. So I'll activate pen, skin color, and don't want to add the socks. So I'll draw this in two parts. And now first the right leg. And right click and delete anchor points. And activate pen again. And now we draw it with more detail, more attention. Look here, I pay attention to the most little curves, and because if you pay attention to these, the end of your work, the output of your work would be very professional. So here and here. All right, so if you see, the curve should be completely like this, clean. And this part again, like this. And I'll bring it here with space. And go back a step. And I'll bring it to the endpoint. And see here, it looks really great. You can see here. And okay, so the next step in the top layer, I'll create a new layer and save. And I'll name it shoes. Okay. And for the color of here, I'll select a dark color and black. To start drawing. Okay, so you can see here I have the stroke off and I'm working just with fill. And I'll pay attention to the most little of curves. Like this. In this part too, the same. I'll press P. Okay, so I'll start. And I'll go back a step. Okay. So you can see I'll just start fixing here. So direct selection tool and start fixing it. Or here, and the corners should be fixed here, for example. We shouldn't have an angle. Like this. You can see really great. For example, a little bit down. And this part, for example, I'll bring up the anchor. And this handle should be controlled. Again, the anchor, go up. And bring it here. And done. Okay, here on this part has a little bit angle, I'll fix it. And a little bit higher, and let this match these two. And or here, for example, it's done. Okay, so I'll turn this off, and so far you can see it's really professional and great. We created a personage, but still it's not complete. Rather, we have the hair left. So I'll go to the, I'll create a new layer, name hair, and we'll activate pen and zoom in, and I'll select eyedropper and pick the color. I'll make it a little bit lighter so it would be closer to white. And start just and the thing is, I'll explain. Alright, so now we want to create this hair, and these are bothering us. We cannot see the correct hair, so you can just turn these off for a moment, the layers that you work with, and now start working with it really easy, and just have the hair layer and the people layers, and then activate and start working really easy. Like this, and zoom in so you can see here a little bit, not just a click. So all right, again, like this. And the thing here for hair is that you should just go back until you get that correct angle. And start layer touches. And here, for example, curve, and here too. And here a little bit curve. Here I have more distance. And here, for example, and see here, I'll pay attention to curves and also to angles. And also I'll start working. And see here those areas that have face. And pay attention to them. Okay, bring them behind the ear. And done. Alright, so now I'll turn all of these on so you can see. And see how great. Alright, now zoom in using direct selection tool and work with it. For example, I'll bring this behind and here. And start working with them. And here on top and this area. Here. And here the anchor. And bring it here. And curve this. And you can see how much I pay attention. And you should pay attention in your work. And here, curve it. And see how great. And here. Curve this. and done. Okay, so the color now can be changed. So for example, I bring this a little bit, okay, make it a little bit darker, or this. And okay, so a really important thing there is that when you're drawing the shape of the hair here, the colors were like this, in fact, and you could see that, for example, when we chose red or vermilion or these kind of colors, it was like this. And the reason for that is the Illustrator application, because if it's because my app is cracked and I don't have the original license, I get these kind of problems. So if you close and open the application once, this problem would be solved. Or except that there's some settings in preferences that if you go to appearance of black, on a string, you should put on the screen unrich. So it would be the thickest possible, and then restart the application. So this would be solved. This is a problem that in cracked versions do have. But some things here in the finalized steps, you should do some settings. In fact, not reaching the points, you should pay attention to these points, and you should work on them. And you can see here really better. Pay attention to work on these, and now all the things that this had was worked with here and this area a little bit, and make break it a little bit, and this is now finished. But so there are some things you should add on them. For example, okay. Okay, so I'll want to add some hair strands on this. So first, I take this and select the color and copy it from the color. Copy and start adding stroke using pen, or go from pencil. That doesn't make any difference. And select the color. For example, this color, a little bit darker, and it should have a stroke like this. A little more. And start drawing some hair strands on it. For instance, about this minimal. And you can see. And here too. Okay. So these that I created, I'll select them and go to layers or here. And I select all of them using Shift. And like this. And then start changing that mode and put the style on. You can see here, it's thinner now. And or for example this, or you can see it very better. And decrease the stroke. And another thing I can do is I can go to the color and here press Control a little bit darker, and okay. So here it looks way better. And now you can edit them. So for example, I'll zoom in here and this part, delete, and here bring it. Or this area is okay. This is, for example, this part. I'll delete it with the anchor. This part be here. And it's fixed. Okay. Or this part I'll work with. Okay, so like this, I'll add some curves. Like this. And in this part, and here should be fixed. Control 0, and you can see this. Now these strands have been added, and now hair strands are really make our work really better. So I'll bring some of them, and the color should be the same family of this red, but a little bit lower brightness. But now the last thing that I'm going to teach you about this. Okay, I didn't bring the book here because it's not really do much work. We can just simply draw a book and bring the layer between the two arms and the shirt. So you can see the curves are correct in everywhere. No legs and shirts and hairs everywhere. So anyway, when we want to add all of the colors in one menu and change all the colors in one menu and one settings, we have a tool in color guides named Edit Colors. In color guide, edit colors, and for example, I bring all of these here and get a copy from it. And I want you to see the difference. So now before changing the colors, we just have to select them first. So we go to color guide and edit colors. All right. So there's a window opens named color artwork. And here is for managing the colors, and you can manage all the colors all overall in one menu and edit them. So what's the difference? The difference is when in this part, fill and stroke should, for using fill and stroke, you should have selected each one separately and edit the color. But here you can just edit everything at once. But what features does this menu have? There are some default presets that I don't suggest because we're going to use our own personalized colors. And you can see the presets are here. The colors that we had are these. So we have the skin color, okay, and clothing color and hair color. And all of these change and turn to this. And now the skin color is this, and now I want to change the color. For example, I'll double click on it and select the color. For example, this here. Okay. And you can see the color changes. And you if in hue and saturation and brightness change things, you can simply change the color. So for example, I'll change the hue and change the intensity, brightness, and like this. And I now go to the shirt, and the click here is asking, do you want to add just one color, or you want to mix two colors? So I'll say one color, and you can see here the skin. I'll change it. Okay, and then I'll go on the skirt, like this, and I'll go here and see these whites and yellows, and these neutral colors have changed on the shirt. Also the clothing, and you can see the color changed really easily. And now I'll make it neutral, and green is the hair color, and you can change it. You saw how easily we could change the color, and also the color of shoes are from here. So for example, I can use the color of here, and here. So, and also any color that you select can be used and changed here, and so you can edit everything in here really easily. You can have a focus on your work. Okay, so this was one method, and the other method is in edit and edit active colors, that your color palette would be in a circle, and each of your colors would be in a circle. So if you change these, you can see that your colors will change, and all of these have hue and saturation settings. This is really more sensitive and really harder to work with, but you may want to ask that, okay, I want to work with just one of them, what should I do? Well, you go and on link this here, and you can work on each one separately like this. So just click once and work on them, and you can even add, and you can use the color tool and these handles. You can add these, and from here you can change the hue, saturation, and brightness. And you can see how we want to show it. Display color bar, it can be segments, and it can be smooth. So here are the borders are smooth or segments or color bar, and it has some default presets here. You can save your colors, and in this area, well, naturally you have more control, and you can save and have your preset, and you can use and see the before and after using this. All right, so we are at the end of today's session, and here in this session included two parts. That was two parts. And the practice of this session is in the folder of homework of these two parts. I'll add some real Personaj in the folders, and you just have to simply select one and select them and turn them to these kind of works. So graphical Personaj, or flat vector people, or illustrated people. And if you search on the internet, flat vector people or illustrated or illustration people, if you search these keywords, you get things similar to these, and they are really great guides. But I'm going to put a lot of samples in the folder of these two parts. So we are at the end of the presentation in creating the graphical presentations. In next session, we're going to enter teaching the first method of creating a diagram. So until next session, goodbye.